The Treasury targets major Mexican cartel involved in fentanyl trafficking and fuel theft. Fuel theft is a big thing because of the price of fuel. Obviously, they can steal it and then resell it at their leisure in towns that they control. Yeah.
Fuel theft has been around forever.
Well, yeah. Yep. So has, surprisingly, a black market for cigarettes.
Yeah.
Which has been thriving since the 20s, I think.
Yeah.
So, anyway, Washington. Today, the Department of Treasury's Office of Foreign Assets Control, OFAC, sanctioned 3 Mexican nationals and 2 Mexico-based entities involved in a drug traffic and fuel theft network linked to the cartel Jalisco Nueva Generacion, CJNG. Let me pump up the jams over here. Hang on. So you can see this better. Is that better?
See it more better.
I feel like it's better. See more better. This network generates hundreds of millions of dollars annually, benefiting CJNG through a slew of criminal activities, including fentanyl trafficking, fuel theft, and smuggling stolen crude from Mexico across the southwest border. Concurrently, Treasury's Financial Crimes Enforcement Network issued an alert that provides financial typologies and red flags indicative of crude oil smuggling schemes on the U.S. southwest border associated with CJNG and their Mexico-based transnational criminal organizations. I'd like to point out that these guys are smart enough to smuggle things like crude.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be able to refine crude, which means the crude has a destination, and there are only X numbers of destinations in the United States. Our refining capability is, I believe, 1/10 of what it used to be. So for now, these are sophisticated organizations. It's not just a bunch of freaking taco benders slinging drugs. That hasn't been so since the 1970s.
Yep.
Fuel theft and crude oil smuggling are cash cows for CJNG's narco-terrorist enterprise, providing a lucrative revenue stream for the group and enabling it to wreak havoc in Mexico and the United States. Treasury, as part of the administration's whole of government effort, will continue to use all available assets to relentlessly target drug cartels and foreign terrorist organizations to make America safe. Again, to the point of what we've been talking about tonight, and how I pointed out that they seem to have gotten SIGINT down, they'll start targeting these Treasury guys. It's a matter of time.
They're going to start targeting anyone who gets in their way.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. They're absolutely going to start targeting these Treasury guys or the people around them or anybody who assists them. Probably anybody who assists them, because it's called walling in the king. If you take everybody out around the king and give him nowhere to go, it doesn't matter what orders he gives, because nobody is there to follow the orders.
Yep.
OFAC coordinated the sanction action with the Drug Enforcement Administration, Homeland Security, FBI, U.S. Customs and Border, FinCEN, and the government of Mexico, including La Unidad de Inteligencia Financiera, the Unified Intelligence Operation for Finance, Mexico's Financial Intelligence Unit. Oh, look, there's the translation right there. I didn't have to translate it. Yeah, that happens.
Yeah.
FinCEN coordinated its alert with DEA, FBI, HSI, and OFAC. FinCEN's alert is one of the several other recent FinCEN advisory and analytic products on revenue streams and illicit activity associated with Mexico-based transnational criminal organizations. So CJNG is a U.S. designated foreign terrorist organization. That just happened recently. We mentioned that toward the beginning of the show. I think, Jimmy, you mentioned it, where all of the cartels have been designated terrorist organizations.
Yep.
Specifically designated global terrorist, as well as a violent Mexico-based drug trafficking organization. CJNG is responsible for a significant portion of fentanyl and other deadly drugs. Mexico-based drug trafficking cartels have turned to fuel theft and crude oil smuggling in recent years. This is why I haven't heard of it, resulting in billions of dollars lost in revenue for the Mexican government. These schemes have grown into powerful revenue generators, enabling their campaigns of narcotics trafficking in the United States and violence against Mexican government enforcement. The Department of State designated CJNG as a foreign terrorist organization. Treasury, that was on February 20th, 2025. Treasury previously sanctioned them on April 8th, 2015, pursuant to the Foreign Narcotics Kingpin Designation Act. How do you sanction a cartel? What effect would that have?
Well, well, they go after their bank accounts, number one.
Okay.
Then they start seizing assets, boats, cars, houses, stuff like that. And then they identify anyone that's higher in the echelon, even family members, and then they come down on them as well.
I know we did that to the Russians in some cases, where their oligarchs, we sanctioned their families and wouldn't let them enter the United States, froze bank accounts and assets, things like that.
They took their yachts, stuff like that.
Yeah, they did that to the Lord of War that we traded a transsexual basketball player for.
That's fucking stupid.
That was one of the funniest trades ever. Yeah. Absolutely one of the funniest trades ever.
Here's another thing is how do I lost my train of thought. It'll come back to me.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I lost my train of thought.
So basically, the reason that I pulled up this Treasury one here is to show that we actually do have a lot of operations going against these people, and that's what's drawing their attention.
That's what I wanted
causing them to. What's that?
When you get on the global terrorist list, you are first in line for cruise missiles.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes.
It came back to me.
That is a fact. So let's move this along to law enforcement officials. Law enforcement officers expose cartel threats and national security concerns during Senate Judiciary hearings. In response to questioning today from Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley, special agents highlighted the dangers law enforcement officers face in the fight against cartels, as well as the cartel's presence in the American communities and man-made tunnels between Juarez and El Paso. They're all along the border. One of the reasons that we were looking at the North Koreans moving around in Central and South America is in exchange for laundering money and a couple of other unsavory activities. The North Koreans showed the cartels how to tunnel. And in case you don't know, the North Koreans are basically, we call them the mole people.
Yeah.
Look into the tunnels under the DMZ. If you want a fun little rabbit hole to go down, look into the tunnels that are under the DMZ in South Korea. And North Korea has those things everywhere. They're incredible underground engineers for no reason at all.
And if I recall, every now and again, South Korea will cave those tunnels in with explosives.
That's correct. And then the North Koreans will build another one somewhere else.
I know.
It's a serious game of cat and mole.
Yes.
Mole
cat.
Mole cat. That's going to turn up on the Cartoon Network as a show. Additionally, a Federal Bureau of Investigations office official confirmed the Trump's administration readiness to address potential Iranian sleeper cells. The administration released more than 1,000 Iranian nationals into the United States after crossing the border illegally, which should constitute an act of treason. Witnesses included Matthew Allen, special agent in charge, Jose Perez, assistant director of the FBI, Jason Stevens, special agent in charge, El Paso division. Grassley's opening statements are available here. They will be in the links if you want to read them and keep up on this and see what our biggest threat at the southern border really is. Video and excerpts of Grassley's questions follow. We're not going to watch that video right now, but we'll go through one or two of the questions just so you can get a flavor on cartels targeting American law enforcement, which is what this is all about to begin with. There's a long and tragic history of cartel members targeting American law enforcement. Mr. Allen, would you please briefly elaborate on the threats that you and the agents work with have received? Allen says, in my 22 years plus in the DEA in Los Angeles area and other areas of the world, I've experienced several instances of cartels and criminal organizations surveilling our people all the fucking time, both in Mexico and the United States. I've personally lost several friends on this job, two of them very close friends of mine. It is a dangerous job. on the threat of Iranian sleeper cells. Mr. Perez, Tom Homan, disclosed that the Biden administration released 1,272 Iranian nationals into the United States after they crossed the border illegally. That's fucking treason.
Yes.
According to news reports, Iran has threatened to activate its sleeper cells inside the United States. How is the FBI preparing for a potential sleeper cell activation by Iran? Wake up. There is literally nothing you can fucking do about it until the action has taken place. There's no way they're going to catch all of these.
No, they ain't going to catch them.
There's no way.
I believe I think they made a dent into that. Like 225, 250 of them have been rounded up.
Oh, that's good. That only leaves 1,000.
Yeah, it's only 1,000. What could go wrong?
We moved around and did surveillance in countries without anybody realizing we were there to any significant degree more often than not. Moving around in the United States is simply a matter of looking like you belong in the area that you're in and not doing anything stupid.
That's right. Nobody should fuck with you.
Nobody will challenge you. Nobody will challenge you at all. All you have to do is look vaguely like you belong in the area and don't do anything stupid. So, no, they're not going to catch those other 1,000 guys in time for anything if they decide to do something. Okay, Perez answered, obviously, terrorism is a top priority for the FBI regarding any potential entries that may have occurred. The benefit is now that the FBI has been working collaboratively for several months on immigration enforcement with our Department of Homeland Security counterparts. The Department of Homeland Security is almost entirely DEI. I feel we're well positioned now more than ever to leverage that tool. We're well positioned to address the threat of Iranian sleeper cells currently. Okay, I'm going to fill you in on bureaucrat speak and bullshit. Okay, I feel that we are well positioned now more than ever to leverage that tool. What does that sentence say?
We have no idea, and we are fucked, and we're trying to pull the worm out of the balloon knot.
That is exactly what that sentence says.
Yeah, and
it says not a fucking thing.
And when you hear an actual U.S. military officer say that, it's usually spoken right after they pour sand on the ground and start doing this soft shoe dance.
Yes, that is correct. Yeah, we are well positioned now more than ever to leverage that tool. Fuck yourself.
Sorry. I can't tell you how many times I'd hear these officers start the back pedal speak.
Yeah,
and I'd be like, "Okay, sir, are you going to pour the sand on the ground now so you can start soft shoeing, or you're going to tap dance? Because that's where we are."
Exactly. Exactly. On the cartel's presence in United States communities, Mr. Grassley. Mr. Allen, in 2024, your agents arrested El Mencho's son-in-law in Riverside, California, where he posed as a nonviolent immigrant running a lawn business. El Mencho, I have seen lawn business crews with freaking MS-13 tattoos.
Yes.
Here in Oakland County, in Michigan. El Mencho leads the CJNG, a violent cartel that's flooded the United States with fentanyl and murdered hundreds of individuals. El Mencho's son-in-law is part of the cartel leadership. What presence did El Mencho's son-in-law establish in California, and how did he do so? Allen responds, working off information provided through a tip, my agents established surveillance at a residence they believed to be El Mencho's son-in-law, who was living in Riverside, California. It quickly came to our attention that he was living in a gated community just down the street from the chief of police. He was wanted in Mexico for the kidnapping of some Mexican Marines, so he faked his own death, got a new name, and came to America. That's another thing that they could do. Produce fake documents. And to the average person, it's not going to look that big of a deal. Now, there are dozens, if not hundreds of these guys.
Also, if those documents are produced in another country, it's really hard for us to actually check the validity of those documents from the inside the United States.
Yes. Another fun thing that the North Koreans would do is, have you ever heard of the super note?
You're talking about the $100 counterfeit?
That was better than our own.
Iran did that too.
Yep. The North Koreans perfected it, but yes, Iran also did that. They were distributing those down in Central and South America. And a lot of that probably financed some of this shit here. On the tunnel between Juarez and El Paso, Mr. Stevens, in January 2025, HSI agents discovered a man-made tunnel between Juarez and El Paso that was reportedly constructed in the last year and used to smuggle migrants and drugs into the United States. Members of this committee have cited misleading data regarding who's bringing fentanyl into the country. What have you learned about this tunnel, and how does it caution against relying solely on seizure tactics statistics at ports of entry for determining how drugs are smuggled into the United States? Stevens replies, 2 individuals of my size could walk through that tunnel side by side, so we had significant concerns because individuals could transit that tunnel, obviously unknown and undetected by law enforcement. We knew that there could be contraband brought through the tunnel as well, and we also know that money and weapons could be smuggled south through that tunnel. Look, we found tunnels like this
all the time.
All the time. By we, I don't mean me. I mean U.S. law enforcement. It's in several of the Narcos movies. It's in several movies about the drug trade, like Sicario. There's a tunnel in that one.
Listen, I'm going to be honest. We're going to have to start executing these people.
Yes.
If you get caught digging a tunnel under the border, you literally should just be done right there on the spot.
We're going to have to use kinetic methods on these people. This whole, we're going to arrest you and try you, and they don't care. They don't care about that. They'll do prison time standing on their head. They simply do not care at all. We do not elicit a high enough price to cause them to rethink their actions.
At some point, we're going to have to do that. I mean, I'm just saying it's going to have to get medieval.
Yeah. Those are some examples of some of the stuff that's going on.
And listen,
this is...
You guys are hearing it here first, too. You're not...
A week ago.
Are there any other news
10 days ago.
Yeah, are there any other news outlets that are actually talking about this and putting it forward as a credible fucking threat? I don't think so. I mean, we heard
nobody's bringing it all together like this.
No, nobody's. Well, I'm sure not on the media, but and that's why I'm like, why the fuck we only got like 900 to 1,200 people who watch the show on the regular across various platforms. You're not getting this information on the mainstream media, and it's not.
Nobody knows this shit is going on.
Yeah, it's not being dissected by an old SF grunt and a SIGINT grunt who are like, because we look at this shit, we're like, oh, we know what this means.
We know exactly what this shit is. The travel, the activity, and the communications that they're using here, we know what all of this is. We've been through all of this.
And the thing is that type of technology used to be only available for tier 1 adversaries or allies who spy on us, like Israel.
Yep.
But now this capability is at the fucking drug cartel level. And those guys are fucking medieval. And the only way you're going to fight them is you have to get just as fucking nasty as them, and you have to be nastier first.
Yeah.
That's the only way we're going to be able to deal with this.
Yeah. And as far as the tech goes, as I pointed out earlier, although I have a past doing the things that Pop talked about, I am now just a fat old semi-rural chicken farmer. My chickens have better security than a lot of the places in town, and I did that on basically a shoestring budget. These are cartels. The shit that they have is way, way beyond that. I guarantee you they've got better than chicken cam security.
And it's probably being used by professionals that used to do this for a living for either a foreign adversary
or our own NSA DSS.
Or one of our former alphabet agencies. Where do you think, these 51 guys who signed that memo against Trump, Where do you think they're going to take their expertise?
Yep.
We literally spent millions of dollars just training one of these guys. And they can literally take these skills, go across the border, probably get paid handsomely.
Yep.
And this is all a credible fucking threat, meaning it could quite possibly happen in real time, and we might see it on the news in the near future. But I guarantee you,
after the fact,
at some degree, what I'm telling you right now is absolutely true.
Watch Grunt Speak live every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to join Pop for Supporter Sundays, go to redonkulas.com/donate and make a monthly pledge. A link is in the meat caser box.